join me in giving a warm welcome to our moderator, Natalie Abrams.
Thank you. Hi, guys. I'm Natalie Abrams from TV Guide, and we're here to talk about all things Scandal and the wonderful cast you can hear on the side over there. It's a very fun-loving cast, so let's get them out here without further ado. Columbus Short. Somewhere.
Can I grab this mic?
Yes.
Sweet.
Guillermo Diaz. Oh, you're coming in the back right here, actually.
Oh, of course, back of the bus. It's okay.
Bellamy Young. Bellamy Young, everyone. Jeff Kerry. Darby Stanchfield. Kerry Washington. And last but certainly not least, Katie Lowe's. Guys, a lot of you have been in Shondaland shows before. Can you talk about what the audition process was like coming in for Scandal?
Well, first of all, I didn't have a mic in my audition. Mics.
You didn't audition.
Yeah, you were the one who didn't audition.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only one.
Thomas is the cool guy who didn't have to audition.
You're the cool girl with no mic.
I'm a theater actor. I can speak in this room.
Katie, you have a fun audition story.
I do. And
Yeah, it's a great one.
And I have been on Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice as well. Woo! But I remember seeing the breakdowns and seeing that there was a role of Quinn on this show, and my middle name is Quinn, and I was like, oh my God, it's fate, holy mackerel, this is totally gonna happen. And I went in once. I did, I thought that.
It was fake.
And I went in only once, and Shonda taped it with Linda Lowy, who's our brilliant casting director and also married to this man over here. Yeah, she casts all the Shonda Rhimes shows.
The power
Scandal
of nepotism.
Snapple facts.
And they taped me once, and they said, you know, we're going to test you. We're going to bring the tape in front of the studio and network. And weeks had gone by, and then they called me in again, and they were all sitting in this big room, and they sat me in a chair, and I was really scared. And they said, I'm sorry, Shonda told me, I'm sorry, but we're not going to bring you any further. We're not going to test you. And I was like, oh, I'm going to cry. And then she said, but the reason we're not testing you is because I'm just going to give you the role.
And if you buy this, this is such a shameless plug, but honestly, if you buy the season 1 DVD, there is behind the scenes audition footage for all of us, except for Columbus, obviously, and you get to see Katie's response, where she's at once terrified and then elated, and then she says, "Can I hug you?"
Exactly.
Kerry, did Shonda have you in mind for the role, or did you go through the ringer like everyone else?
No, and I just want to say officially that as a cast, we don't support sleeping with casting directors to get your parts, but it did work
Absolutely
for Jeff
tacky.
Kerry.
It's not our official party line.
Ill-gotten gain.
It works. But
Ill-gotten gain.
And actually, can I tell that story really quickly? Is that our casting director, Linda Lowy, it was during the first season of Grey's, and she was moving into her new office at Grey's Anatomy, and Jeff, being a good husband, was helping Linda move into her new office. And Shonda went to go visit Linda and said, "Oh, that's so sad." And Linda said, "What?" And she said, "That guy, he's one of my favorite Chicago theater actors, and now he's moving people."
It's true. Yeah. I had on sweatpants and a shirt full of paint and a microwave on my shoulder. I was either moving shit or I was stealing it. You know? And
Funny enough, though, when I went to the meeting for this show, one of the last thing that I asked before I left the meeting was, "Who is the Olivia Price?" was her name at the time. Who's Olivia? Who's gonna play this Olivia Price character? And she was like, "Oh, we got a couple of ideas." I was like, "Who?" Well, who? And she named 5 actresses. And when she said her name, I said, "If it is not Kerry Washington, I can't do this show. Like, it's you. You walked into your destiny, girl."
Quiet as his kept.
Shonda did not have me in mind for the role. We had never met. We'd never met before, and she didn't really know anything about me, actually, about my body or work.
You was in Say the Last Dance, but you didn't even dance. Quiet as kept.
We have to tell you that there is this brilliant.
You guys,
Brilliant
it's like this
person.
on set.
Yeah,
All
this
the
is what
time.
it's like every day at work. I don't know how we do anything serious. There is this brilliant person online, Funky Deniva, who does breakdowns of several different shows and like happenings in the world, and she does My Hair Is Laid Like. And
Olivia
she's
Pope.
done My Hair Is Laid Like Ann Romney, My Hair Is Laid Like all kinds of people. And one week, our very first episode of season 2, she did My Hair Is Laid Like Olivia Pope. And she does a breakdown of everything that happens in the episode, and it's amazing. So when you hear us quoting, that was one of the things that she said in her podcast was, "You was in Save the Last Dance, but you didn't even dance. Quiet as it's kept." Yeah.
And per Funky Deneva, he is Miss Cyrus.
So Miss Cyrus.
and Miss Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Miss Cyrus, I gotta be talking to.
My character, Abby, was described in the pilot as 12, 13 years younger than I am. I won't say how old. Round, knits a lot, has cats, and is cheery. And it was one of these moments when I got the script, when I got the audition, where I just felt so connected to this character and the words and the fact she has no filter, and she's really strong and complex and feisty and complicated. And I think Guillermo, I think you had the same kind of experience of like, it just felt like I got to use all parts of myself instead of cutting part of myself off. I got to bring my whole self to the character, and so it just was a delight to get to go in there and test. And it was also one of those experiences where I felt I was so connected to the story, and I was so connected to this character and Shonda's writing, that everything else kind of fell away. Like wasn't thinking about testing. I wasn't thinking about money. I wasn't thinking about, oh, am I going to get this? I was so invested in the voice of this character. And I rarely have that experience in an audition, but that's what it was like for me.
You know what you said, Darby, when I've gotten bigger jobs, that it was a very similar feeling of either while it's happening or looking back on it. I remember just, you were just happy to be practicing. You were just happy to be in the task.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on a good day. Yeah, on a good day.
And a lot of times that's impossible with auditions. Yeah.
I just last season I just started as a recurring, so my audition.
By the way, you're amazing.
when I auditioned for the thing, I'd be like, I had 2 lines because, and it was like the day before the work started. You know how it is, and you get that call and you're like, fuck, because I want to do a good job. And I'd gone through pilot season and I got this script, and the script was so beautiful. Like, Shonda's writing is just worlds and worlds above, and you think, oh my God, I want to do anything I can do to be a part of this. And I went out that night before and bought an outfit, which I never do because I hate to shop. And I just had a very, like you say, I had 2 lines, but I had such a really specific feel. It's not even idea; it's literally feel because it's so visceral. And Linda Lowy, bless her heart, because I'd done the private practice spinoff, so it was sort of a Grey's Anatomy, but it was really in private practice land. And so Sean had gotten to see me do, like, the arc was like from comedic to tragic and that little thing. So I felt like she'd gotten to see more than 4 words. But and Linda just brought in 5 people, and we all went and said our 4 words. And then walked out. You look expectantly, and then thank you. And then, bless their hearts, they let me come and do this with them. And those, I had 2 days on the pilot, because one was when I said my 4 words to you and Olivia and Tony. And then one day when I just waved, we were getting on a fake helicopter. And it was still like the most transcendent experience, because you really feel a part of something incredible. And then it just got like a dream, because they started writing amazing stuff for me. And then they hired me for real for the 2nd season.
Well, for Scandal scripts, those are what?
We
At
didn't
least
find
20?
out how Guillermo got the job.
Oh, yes. And not just speak to audition, but also speak to how you go to such dark places for Huck.
When I first got the sides, it described the character Huck as a 50-year-old man who was obsessed with glass figurines all over his office. I don't know if you guys knew this. Well, I'm sure it was in the script. And the scene, I read one of the scenes, and it was to Quinn, and I'm asking you to go to have pancakes with me for breakfast and whatever. He was written like a nebbish sort of, I don't know, older guy. And I called my manager. I was like, I'm not 50. Like, really? Like, why are they going to see me for this 50-year-old guy? And they were like, no, they know who you are. Just, they know you're not 50. Just go in. And then I read, and in the pilot, Huck didn't have a lot to say. So Shonda wrote a monologue for the actors who were coming in to read for Huck. And she wrote this amazing monologue, which was used in episode 5 of season 1 when I'm torturing Charlie. And I'm describing like my backstory and all that stuff. So that was my audition monologue. Yeah.
Clearly, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So I just went in and read for Shonda was in the room, and Betsy Beers, our producer, and I read and I connected to it. I got really emotional, and I just felt.
Did you know it?
I didn't know it. I read it off the paper. I knew some of it, but I wasn't off book. And then I got the call that I got the role. I auditioned once. Yeah.
He kills Huck, man. Oh.
Oh man.
Well, for Scandal in general, the scripts must be at least 20 pages longer than normal. What is it like doing so long?
15
Actually,
pages
15.
longer than a normal network 1-hour drama.
That's why we talk so fast, because otherwise your scene's going to get cut.
And we gotta be word perfect.
Well, that's Scandal pace. How do you guys prepare for Scandal pace, and is it easier now than it is first season?
It's funny, like we had a meltdown day, like I think a few weeks ago. It was me, Darby, Kerry was obviously not there because she's perfect. I'm just playing, that was a joke. But we were all there. But we were like, we could not. It was like one take, I would just, and then the next take, it was Guillermo.
On each of our close-ups, we all were like, we couldn't remember our lines. It was bad.
It's so daunting on a day-to-day basis, from the time whether you are on set at 6:30 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. You have to be on this pace and on this timing and this rhythm and the music. And if you're not, it's like so daunting at times.
Yeah.
I have to run the lines a lot. A lot, because I'm doing stuff with papers and slapping photos up on the wall. And, all of us, prop-heavy, phones, bags. And because it's so fast, you have to know it like you're breathing. Yeah. Otherwise, you can't even have any sort of finesse with.
I have a dear actor buddy, and I'll take him to dinner and make him take some money for his wife or something, And we just run it as much as we can both fit in, during the week, because and you practice it. That's the most helpful. With another human, right?
Yeah.
You listen to it on your voice memo, and you practice it, and you're running it yourself, and da-da-da. But it is damned hard to practice the speed that's required.
Yeah.
It's just like, man.
Always running our lines in the makeup
Constantly running lines. We constantly run lines with each other.
When they're turning around.
Yeah, always, always, always. We're very supportive of each other in that way. On set, for sure.
Because it's just not about your pace; it's a timing with your fellow actress. Yeah, it's very much.
Yeah, and this group of people, it's really, really precious that we all want each other to do good. So we're all really there for each other. The kind of message you get about Olivia Pope and Associates, and that we're over a cliff for each other, and we're stray dogs that Olivia's brought in. There's really that spirit on our set. So we can run lines. If someone has a heavy scene, we're totally there for them. We're there for their close-up.
And sometimes we're doing 2 episodes.
Yes.
Sometimes we double up. We have double up days where we're shooting 2 episodes at the same time. And we've just gotten the next script, so we're memorizing lines for the next episode.
Yeah.
Which is a brain F.
We also always use each other, because a lot of times there's flashback for, I know, the White House and you guys, but when when we're doing double up days or there's flashbacks, Kerry is such an amazing leader, but everybody, as far as what was our scene before this? Yeah. Where are we going after this? Yeah. To remember where you are in what space, because you guys know it's shot out of order, and it's just daunting. It's just so much material you have to really be honest.
Because our characters are so complicated, our relationships are so complicated. Yeah. So, and what we love about this group of actors is we will be doing a scene about the client. We will be doing the scene about said rapist in the office. But we will be full on having conversations about, we're not getting along right now, right? And I don't trust you. And where were you last night? Do I know that yet? So because we want, in that scene, even though it's about discussing the client, we want to make sure we need to make eye contact. We need to not make eye contact. Right. We need to.
Everything is it's very purposeful. There was an episode, I think it was Beltway Unbuckled. We were talking about something, and me and Kerry share a look, but it's so powerful. When we share looks with one another, it's not by accident. And if the editors are kind enough to put it in and you catch it, key in that. We have great editors. Every beat, every small, it's the intangibles. I say we act on the white on the page, in between the lines, and that's where you're seeing what's happening with these. Internally with these characters, and every single character does it, just simply wonderfully. You guys are so talented.
But what about you? You're not chopped liver, man.
But it also must be really difficult working in Shondaland because every secret is so heavily guarded. Oh. So how is it not knowing what's coming up in even 3 episodes and what sort of direction you're supposed to be acting in?
I was telling my friend Kat is with me this weekend, and we were talking about sort of this over late breakfast today.
I want to know whose baby it is.
What?
Yeah. I want to know whose baby it is.
It's my baby.
It's Harrison's baby.
We have a joke that baby's gonna come out brown.
Baby.
We think it might be Morris at the gate of the White House.
It's Kareem, the guy with the briefcase handcuffed to his wrist.
No, it's good. But I was just telling Kat this morning, she was asking me sort of the same thing, and I said there was a point last year and I was trying to think what the example was, but it was when Tony went to Shonda, and he said, did I sleep with Amanda Tanner? And Shonda was like, no. And then she came back and she was like, yes. They're sort of finding it as we're finding it, and we just get we get the scripts, and our jaws drop, and we call each other, and we're like, oh my God, can you believe this? And then the next script comes, and you're like, did you know you're gay? You know, I
There was a scene.
My wife was reading it a week. She reads them about a week and a half before me because she has to cast them, and we're not allowed to talk about it, and we really don't because I like this job and I can't be fired. But she kind of lets out this yelp or something, and she wouldn't tell me, but after the fact, she'd tell me that she thought James is a really strange name. That's an interesting name for a woman. You know, she's reading this relationship stuff with me. And she goes, oh my God, he's gay. I remember Tony.
The scripts are so good that if there's a new script that's ready on a Friday afternoon, the office will hold it until the end of the day on Friday. Because if they release it, work stops.
The set shuts down.
Shut down because everybody
Not just us.
The crew.
The scripts, the electrics, the camera department, everybody's dying to know what happens next. I had the head of the scripts department say to me, Kerry, I've worked in television for 35 years. I haven't read a script in 20. I don't usually care. I know how to light it no matter what's going on. They read the scripts. They read the scripts. They're invested. Everybody.
I was telling Betsy that if I was so in the dark in my normal life, like tomorrow, I kind of have an idea of what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And next week, I know that I'm gonna probably be on set, and we have a day. We don't have a clue. Like, we'd go crazy if like.
And not only do we not have a clue about what we're doing, we don't have a clue about what we've done.
Right.
Because of these flashbacks, we're reading stuff. We're
Yeah.
like, what? No, not okay.
But you know, we were was it you and me, Bill, or Darby, you and me? But talking about how, when you do have the whole story, which is everything from dog food commercial to Shakespeare, like normal, there's a certain level. I mean, it's pretty cool about serialized TV. There's a certain level at which, okay, I've got to play these kind of two layers. I'm playing this with the person, and underneath I've really done this, and so I'm lying in a certain way. And not knowing our past, not knowing our future, you sort of don't have those acting burdens. You're just innocent,
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. Yeah. You're sort of not. You know what? If I'd had to play those two levels, I wouldn't have done it very well. Now it looks like I'm a genius.
I think it's also, if we're on a show where the writing wasn't great, like I think that we all have the utmost trust to go on this journey. It's
Completely.
like all of us feel just parts of these like cogs in this wheel, and we all believe in it so much that I think it makes it very easy to trust that whatever these brilliant writers and Shauna come up with is meant to be and great, and we're here for that ride. I think it would be much more difficult if we didn't feel that way about the material.
Absolutely.
Well, for you especially, Katie, the big mystery was who is Quinn Perkins. Did you even know who Quinn was?
I didn't know anything, and I pretend it was. Oh my God, it was so hard. I mean, it was just very crazy, and like Jeff was saying, you just play what's on the page, and you come up with stuff, and the relationships that you have with the people that you know is concrete in there, and.
And sometimes Shonda's actually very, very collaborative because sometimes we will come up with stuff. Like, for example, Columbus and I came up with this kind of backstory about how our characters met. And we emailed it to Shonda, and she loved it and has now started to weave it in and uses it. And then sometimes I will send her ideas, and she will go, nope. But she is very collaborative.
It's like the biblical definition of faith. It's like the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. In Shonda's land, they are kind of.
Slow it down. What? Say it again. What?
Oh, you want me to go to church on you now? No, I'm just playing. Sorry. No, but seriously, like they are the quasi God figures in our scriptural, our text world of the scandal world. So we're just trusting I'm not going to be dead next week in the script. I'm just trusting they're not going to drive Harrison off a cliff. We're just trusting every week that when we read these scripts, we are going to start to, delve into the well of
Oh yeah, I mean
character
they write Abby bitchy. I just go full bitch until they change it. What else am I gonna do? I'm not gonna play against it.
Well, Josh Malina says that he always reads like the last page of the script first to make sure he's alive. Do you guys do that?
Only reads his parts.
That's all he does. He skims to find his name on it. We've seen him all do it.
And then he goes back and reads the end.
Maybe.
And, yeah.
But do you worry at all? Are you constantly on this show worried if your character's about
I love
the
the
fates?
ride. I would never read the last page. I love that. Like,
Yeah, me too.
like
The black man always dies first, so the fact that I'm still here, I'm good. Winning.
I think we always are.
I've been really worried that Abby would get fired. I mean, most episodes I'm worried Abby would get fired.
After Game of Thrones, it's up for
Everything's up for grabs. It's true.
When Sean Bean died on Game of Thrones,
Anyone's up for.
Yeah.
She's like,
If you
"Thanks,
haven't
I'm
seen the
watching
first
it."
season of Game of Thrones, sorry.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
He came back and missing, so it's fine.
And then died again in Missing.
Don't, she hasn't watched that either.
You guys are also a very social media friendly cast. What is it like being directly
We're Twitter
connected
whores.
to? Yeah.
Yeah, we live tweet you guys for all the episodes, and so if you want some extra fun, get on Twitter.
When we started this thing, none of us were on Twitter except for
Kerry.
this one.
And Shonda.
Okay,
Shonda.
you tricked us though.
And we get an email from Shonda telling us
yeah.
that we need to join Twitter
That
for the
we
show.
need to.
Yeah, that we need to. This is like from our
It
boss.
was a mandate, guys.
It's
It was
not
a
an
mandate.
option. The boss says we need
Like, oh
to.
my gosh, Shonda Rhimes asked you to do something. You do
do it.
something, okay? So we all joined Twitter and we're all talking about each other. We have no idea what we're doing.
No idea.
Turns out we just found out about this, like the last thing we had about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that Kerry was the one who asked Shonda to tell us that we had
Olivia Pope.
She Olivia Poped us.
Yeah.
Our digital online media following is a huge part, I think, of this
Yes,
success.
thank
That's
you.
the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And we really love it because, for us, because we don't know what's happening episode to episode when we get the scripts, we have those gasps at home when we're reading the script or on the side of the road when we're reading the script because we can't wait till we get home. And so for us to be on Twitter and feel and experience the audience having the same reactions that we had when we read it is so rewarding because the writing is so good. We look at these scripts and we just hope that we don't screw it up. Like, it's so good. And so for audiences, for us to get to witness audiences falling in love with the same lines that we fell in love with, cheering on the same moments that we applaud each other.
Quinn, bitch. We knew that was gonna be one.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's great. And
No,
we're so
there's a
grateful
cool
for it.
relationship now. Our show, almost every hour drama, most of the comedies, even 5 years ago, the number of eyeballs watching, canceled. It's such a different landscape than it was just 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So that it's kind of grassroots, it's kind of very grassroots necessary too, and kind of nice, almost theater-like, of connect to your audience because honestly, 10,000 more people may keep you, alive. Yeah.
And it's a way for us to express that gratitude, like for us to answer questions about who made this dress or how much fun was that scene to do or how many days does it take to shoot an episode. We are more than grateful and excited to be able to share that with our audience because our audience is the reason we have a job.
You're owed that. You're absolutely owed that.
But not only do you have a direct connection to the fans, but you also have this direct connection to people like Oprah and Allison Felix and all these people who are surprised.
Oh my God, Chris
How is that
Paul.
surprising
It's
for
crazy.
you guys about all the people who say they're fans?
LeBron James. I got a call.
Paint like our show.
Literally
oh,
the
my
other
daughter
day.
will go nuts.
Literally the other day, Paul calls me. He's pulling into the arena to play the Heat. I'm like, he calls me. I'm like, what's up? He said, man, last Thursday we was in Portland, man, so I didn't get a chance to watch episode 5. But after the game tonight, we're watching episode 5, and tomorrow we having a scandal party. Because I don't let my family watch the episodes without me. serious. It's insane.
We had Oprah come visit the set. We're gonna be on her. It's gonna be a scandal episode of next chapter, next month. And she literally said to me, I started watching the show because of all of the craze on Twitter. She said, I had heard about the show, people were talking about the show, but on Thursday nights, all anybody was talking about on Twitter was Scandal. And I said, I have got to watch this show. Gail had been telling her to watch it. And Gail's been from the beginning. But so that's the power of
Yeah, you guys on Twitter, 5 out of 10 subjects will be trending worldwide, and they'll be like Columbus Short, Olivia Pope, Huck, Scandal, Ask Scandal, 5 out of 10. People just
It's the reason Obama was elected the first term. Really, Twitter was half of the reason why it's that and I get what you were doing, Kerry, and I should applaud you because you are genius. I was so anti-Twitter. I was like, Twitter's for douchebags. But now I'm the douchebag tweeting all day. Just a random thought, #awesome.
I've actually seen that, him tweet that.
I swear, I'm like obsessed.
Kerry, because obviously the show is about politics, and you got to speak at the DNC. Did you have any political people coming up and saying how much they like Scandal?
Oh my gosh, you guys, yes. I mean, I shared this with the cast. When I went to Washington for the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that they call that the nerd prom because it's all, the DC smarty pants in a room, and it's hundreds and hundreds of people. And their enthusiasm about Scandal in Washington is awesome. It's awesome. I had old interns at the White House running up to me saying, who is your source? We used to send cupcakes to the White House all the time. And like just quoting the show, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
So cool.
You guys talked about the audition story for Scandal, but does anybody have a horror nightmare audition story you want to share?
Ooh, that's a good.
Oh God.
I do.
I've seen it all. I've seen auditions where where's someone?
Oh, you mean for this show or just in life?
Just in life.
Lily Zanuck ate a sandwich and took 2 phone calls during a 30-second audition with me many years ago. She never looked up. She ate a sandwich. She took at least 2 phone calls. It was about a minute and a half. And I walked out in a daze. That was fun.
In 2005, I got a call for a guest star on a show called Charmed. And in the breakdown, it's like this mystical vampire-like creature guy, but he was a man. And so, I'm like super like, I try to go in anything that I do. And so I'm like practicing this guy with this voice. So I go into the audition. You should have gotten the job. Did you get it? No, so
I'm so happy
I go, and she's like says her lines, and I'm like, come for the vault, and I do the whole audition like this, right? And at the end, she's like, okay. She said, can we do the scene again, and can you lose the voice? I didn't know how to do it without the voice.
What do you mean lose the voice? The voice is the whole thing.
The voice is everything. But the voice is everything. Man, I'm gonna see you on top one day. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be on top one day. You remember me? Voice is everything. Voice is everything.
Does anybody have any others, or maybe what's the part that got away? Maybe.
God, I mean,
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I do not believe in that. I believe that what's yours is yours, and that there's more than enough to go around.
You guys, I've had hundreds of pre-reads. I came to LA green. I was straight out of grad school. Oh my God. Okay, my first TV job was Diagnosis Murder with Dick Van Dyke, the legendary Dick Van Dyke. I'd never ever, but really quickly, pre-reads. I've been through plenty of them where people don't even look up from the page. And it's like, I spent 5 hours on that and you didn't look up from the page? So not any necessarily like fantastic story like that, but just plenty of nightmare pre-reads. Okay, yeah, and then my first day on set, it diagnosed murder with Dick Van Dyke. And I play the murderer. I'm like this sort of Midwest girl who ends up being the bad guy and murdering someone. He's investigating and he's asking me questions. Just this question-answer kind of scene. So his questions are predicated on my, I've learned the lines. I'm an A student. I'm going in there. And we rehearse, and he's not saying his lines right. He's saying whatever he wants to say. It's his show, And I go up to him during rehearsal or after, and I'm like, you're supposed to say this. And he just kind of, And he just kind of looks at me with this little smile.
And what did he say? That's awesome.
Okay. You guys, he was super nice. He sang Annie's show tunes to me when we were setting up other scenes because I had these fake freckles on my face. But anyway, he was nice, but he was a little bit like, she's new. And I sunk into the ground.
I want to say, because I think it can be really, I think sometimes you can see an actor who has a job say what's yours is yours, and I don't believe in that, and it sounds really easy sitting up here. So I do want to add that that twice in my career, I have been cast in pilots for television shows. And that both times, this is before Scandal, that both times the shows got picked up and my role got recast. So I got fired from 2 TV shows that went. And, when I say that to say that we have no choice but to trust the journey, not just in Shondaland, but in what we do. I mean, when actors say to me it's so hard, the rejection, and it's like, if what you need is stability and consistency and to know what's happening next week, this is the wrong career.
How many people in here are actors?
Yeah.
Honestly, let me say, though, truly, and Kerry, you have been a great advocate in the changing of my mind and understanding. And it's true. Don't chase fame or notoriety. If you are if you're in this craft, you're gonna bleed, you're gonna cry, you're gonna be depressed. But if you love the craft, search for the art and the work. Focus on the work. If you go to a pre-read, if that 5 hours, who cares if they don't look up from the page, because you're doing the work. And the work at some point will pay off, and you will be where we are right now talking to you. Sure.
I was just going to say exactly what you're saying. For all the flame outs that I have had in the many years of auditioning that I have done, we were at Christmas last year at Shauna's house. She was nice enough to let us, God, was it last year, to watch a few of them, and before, because we didn't know, maybe it was to watch the 4 through 7. Yeah. She was so nice. She would it has felt like a family since the beginning. She would have us over and let us see the product, which is so gracious. And it was Christmas time. We watched 4 through 7, and by then they had written some amazing stuff for me to get to do. And I went over to Linda to thank her, and I literally was like, Linda, I don't know how you knew that you could trust me with any of the stuff that you let me do in these last few episodes, but I'm so grateful. And she said to me, and I don't mean this about me, I mean this about all of us, every time you go in the room, every time she says to me, every time you came in the room and you did your work, maybe I couldn't give you the job, but you did your work, and this is why. And so, I don't know, that's always stuck with me, because I used to, I was blessed because I got a bunch of auditions, but then it just feels like you are a loser a lot of the time. But that meant the world to me, the way she said that. So I always think that every time you're doing your work, you're doing your work,
always
and it'll
an investment.
come.
It's always and it's usually you don't book that audition. I think Quinn was maybe my 16th audition for Shonda. Probably. I'd been in over the years that many times to not get Grey's Anatomy, all these smaller co-stars or guest stars, and you just keep diligently proving yourself and doing it, that they can trust you. They can give you the part at some point. Some point they're going to trust you enough to give you the role.
You know what also is that the work builds on the work as well.
Yeah.
That to just that being an actor is not about somebody handing you a paycheck. Being an actor is about acting.
Yes.
And so it's also, because I find also that in my career, I have been handed things that reflect work that I did that's completely unrelated. Meaning, there is no way I think that I could play Olivia Pope without having done a David Mamet play on Broadway for a year. Because I learned about how to do language in a different way than ever before doing that play and directed by Mamet. So, you know, Word Perfect is you know, I came to this job understanding what Shonda wanted in a very, and pace and rhythm and speed. And so, and who knew when I decided to go do that play that it was going to allow me to be able to do this.
It's funny you say that because I didn't audition, but Shonda told us when we were about to start the second season, we went to dinner. She's never seen one movie I've ever done. So Shonda saw Studio 60, a small role that I had on Studio 60, which was Aaron Sorkin, which was with Mamet, Sorkin, Shonda Rhimes, Word Perfect dialogue. It's the work begetting work. So if you do the work and you show up, it's not about your name in lights or your name in Us Weekly or this freaking red carpets. All that stuff is pop and circumstance. Go to work. Go do the work. Literally, when you're tirelessly putting on your makeup and putting on your shoes and tying your tie and on that Tuesday, and you got to go down to 220 South La Brea for an audition. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, 200 South La Brea, and you're like, you know, all that stuff is you're investing in your bank so that when the time comes, you're not just here and don't understand where you came from because you're not going to accept, you're not going to appreciate it. But when you do that, man, I remember when I was running out of gas on the way to 200 South La Brea, and I took Orange, and I ran out of gas on Orange and Melrose, and I had to run, and I ran into an audition sweaty for Toyota. But guess what? You were doing the work.
And with that, guys, we're unfortunately out of time, but please be sure to tune in. Scandal, Thursday nights, 10 o'clock.
You guys, thank you.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you. Thank you.